talking to you guys on YouTube and Facebook at the moment because I'm waiting for a video to upload on TikTok before I can join the TikTok live as well. Anyway, but you know what? Why not jump over to why not jump over to start the stream? I might as well start the stream on Facebook and YouTube first. Get this one up and running. Not here at the moment, but anyway, you might get a notification to say I'm live. Just wait for this flipping video to upload. It's taking forever. I don't know why. It's only a minute long, but I can't join the Facebook live, and I can't WhatsApp my community to say I'm going live. Yeah, if you do join my community, by the way, I send a broadcast message out every time I go live, so you never need to miss a live. You don't have to join a live anyway. So let me turn my ring light on just so the camera quality is a little bit better. Denise Hotwood, what's your thoughts on Mounjaro? Straight in, Denise Hotwood's no message. She wants my thoughts on Mounjaro. Denise, I will answer. I'm just waiting. Once my video's uploaded to TikTok, I'm going to set up a TikTok live as well, so I'm dual streaming, and then I'll talk about it a lot, but I'll answer it. I'll keep talking about it because it is so popular at the moment. Right. I am just, welcome to the world of online coaching. So yeah, if you're in my community or on my plan, I have lists of everyone on there, and I just send a quick message out saying, hi, hey crew, better late than never. Because I'm late, should have been on at past. TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube live now for an hour. Right, that's gone out to one group, and then let's put it out to another group. And then I just need to set my live up on TikTok. Then I'm with you. Then you've got my undivided attention. Right, let's go live on there. Right, we'll get there in the end. It's very rare you guys on YouTube and Facebook get the live get to go. I always go live on TikTok and then start the stream for the YouTube and the Facebook lives. Anyway, you lovely people on Facebook and YouTube have got I've got priority this morning. Right, we've got the TikTok live running here. The phones on the old TikTok live. We've got the YouTube and Facebook live all going. We'll just wait for a few people to jump onto TikTok, and then I will start rabbiting on as I normally do. All right, a few people are jumping on now. Anyway, I'm going to kind of start again because now everybody's on. Why is my neck red there? I don't know. I think it's from having my hair cut yesterday. I had a mop shop yesterday, and I think it's just caught me with the blaze. Anyway, I have no idea. I just noticed it then being on camera. Right. Yes, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Thursday. It's Thursday, the 9th of January. I've got to actually, I'm getting carried away. I've got to be a bit quiet because Rachel's on a video call next door. Eventually, I will be in my new office, which means I don't need to be quiet at any point in time, apart from I might, wake the neighbours up, as it were. But anyway, there we go. I am a bit late this morning. I was meant to be on at 8:30, but at 9:30, sorry. But just got a little bit waylaid with the snow. I've been to the gym this morning, trained. As the weather's not great, I've just done cardio this morning, so I've done 5,100 steps on the cross trainer. So if the weather's it's a bit snowy and a bit slippery and a bit icy, so dog walks are not going to be a priority today really. We'll get the dogs out hopefully at least. Well, we'll definitely get them out once. Hopefully get them out twice. Anyway, let's do the top 5 on TikTok this morning. Who is in? Kelly's in. You're number 1 this morning, Kelly. Adam's in at number 2. Sheila's in at number 3. Michael P, 1981, is in at number 4. And Stevie, you are in at number 5. Good morning, everyone. Thanks very much. Let me do some good mornings. And then Denise on Facebook has asked about Mounjaro. I will talk about it. I know I'm talking about it a lot all the time. And if you regularly tune into my lives, but it is a really popular topic at the moment. I've just seen actually on the news today, which is an absolute load of garbage, because there's not that many people using it. It might feel like there's a lot of people using it, but it's just popped up on the news saying the obesity epidemic in the UK might have peaked due to weight loss injections. Absolute nonsense. There's 30 million people in the UK that have a weight issue. I am telling you now, there is nowhere near 30 million people. I know there's not 30 million people because I coach a lot of people, and I've got 3 people currently, I think 3, maybe 4 that are currently on Mounjaro while I am coaching them. Anyway, let me go through a few more good mornings. Donna, Roman, good morning, good morning. Lauren, Stephen, who else is in? What do you make of people online saying processed meat is a carcinogenic which can cause cancer? I'll answer that one very, very shortly as well. What is your weight now, Neil? Well, I did confess this on Facebook yesterday. Not on Facebook, on our group Zoom session yesterday. I did have a cheeky jump on the scales yesterday. So I weighed myself a week ago. Today, 2nd of January. It's only a week since the 2nd of Jan. It feels like that Christmas and New Year. I was going to go, it felt like it was last year. Christmas was last year. But it feels like it was about 3 months ago, not a week ago. And I had gained 9.2 pounds over Christmas. So I was just under 20, back up to being just under 20 stone. As I always say, a lot of that weight gain is water weight, food weight. How do we know that? Because I got on the scales yesterday. Yes, I'll confess, I didn't wait to my check-in on Friday. I did have a little look yesterday. 7 of that has already gone. So I'm 19.5 stone at the moment. I'm 273 pounds, which I'm all right with. I'm all right with that. I'm quite happy with that. So yeah, it's been a good Christmas. I gained a few pounds, 9.2. But it's all pretty much gone. Will it all be gone by tomorrow? No, I actually feel that yesterday I had a really thin day. I felt really, really lean yesterday. I feel yesterday was probably a little bit of a false positive. Sometimes we can just catch the scales right and it gives us a number we obviously are happy to see, but not quite a true representative. And I feel that's kind of what that was yesterday. I think if I got on the scales yesterday, I think I'll have lost 5. I think I'll be 5 pounds down from that 9.2, which in just over a week, again, I'm more than happy with. Then when I do my next check-in in 2 weeks' time, I'm hoping to be under my Christmas weight. I'm hoping to be under my Christmas weight. Right, let me, first of all, I'm going to do Denise's question because she asked it straight away. What are my thoughts on Mounjaro? So, obviously, it's very, very popular in the UK at the moment. Just a quick explanation. I know I talk about it all the time, so I'm sorry if you're a regular follower and you might get bored of me talking about it, but I'm always going to, if people are going to ask and they've not heard it previously, I'm going to talk about it. So Mounjaro is a GLP-1 medication that is designed to help insulin resistance for people that are diabetic. It basically mimics the hormone that releases insulin, that tells the pancreas to release insulin. And obviously, if you are insulin resistant, you have diabetes, then your pancreas doesn't release insulin correctly and your blood sugars stay elevated, which is very, very dangerous. You end up where basically your blood attacks your body, right? That is the issue with having permanently elevated blood sugars, not raising blood sugars and then bringing them back down. That's a normal process in the body that is absolutely fine. It's elevated levels of blood sugar when it sits quite high. And then side effects of all these GLP-1s, and there's lots of them out there, right? It's not just Mounjaro. You'll have heard of Saxenda, maybe Wegovy, Ozempic. There's a good few out there. It actually suppresses appetite alongside being a GLP-1 hormone, and that then obviously causes weight loss because you are consuming less calories. Or for most people, I say for most people, there are loads of people that fail on Mounjaro. Right, this is something we need to understand. I know it's all over social media at the moment, but as I always say, people will only sing when they are winning. No one's going to be coming on here and going, I'm taking Mounjaro and it's just rubbish. It makes me feel ill. It's not suppressing my appetite, I'm not losing it. It's very rare Same as you'll never see anyone coming on here really, or very rarely you'll see someone coming on here and going, I've done Slimming World for 6 weeks, I've lost absolutely no. People only post their successes. And when people then do rubbish on weight loss, you don't hear from them. They go AWOL for months and months and months. It's very rare you'll see an account where they'll actually document their entire journey, their ups, their downs, and things like that. Is Mounjaro a tool that can be used successfully by certain people to help them with their weight loss? Yes, it can, right? If it's used in the right way by the right people, it can. Unfortunately, what I'm seeing a lot of from Mounjaro is I'm seeing a lot of people. Someone came on my live yesterday and said, how can you help me get Mounjaro because I don't have the correct BMI? And this is the thing, a lot of people are going online, doing little questionnaires, lying about their BMI. The BMI is giving it, you shouldn't, anyone that's under 13 stone shouldn't be getting Mounjaro. Your BMI is not high enough, right? So why am I seeing people on my newsfeed telling me they're 10, 11 stone and they're taking it, right? It's a tool to get you down to a certain weight, maybe, or to maybe kickstart your weight loss. It's not a permanent tool. So it can be used in the right way. I think Jenna just said there that Team R8 are now doing a GLP-1 plan. And this guy, and I've not really seen loads of Team R8, but I have seen a lot of people. He's absolutely, because people have been posting actually, he's slagged these weight loss injections off for years, since Saxenda became popular in 2022. He's been like, going on about him. And suddenly he now does a GLP-1 plan. Why? Money over morals. Now, one of my clients actually takes Mounjaro that's in my community, actually messaged me saying, have you ever thought about doing a GLP-1 plan? And I'm literally like, no, because although I've never had an issue with the weight loss injections, as it were. I've got a full podcast on it. I've got a full pack. I don't really talk about Mounjaro because I think I recorded a podcast before Mounjaro became very popular. But like I say, all GLP-1s have the same end result. Podcast, I think maybe 40 or 35, actually, it might be. You have a scan through, but I've done a full podcast on it if you want a bit more information on it. And like I say, if used in the right way, by the right people, it can be a great tool. Unfortunately, what we're seeing is a lot of people are abusing it. It's the same as someone that's currently 15, 16 stone going and having bariatric surgery. Right? They're abusing their body for no reason. And I generally mean that, it is more unhealthy to have a gastric sleeve at 16 stone than to be 16 stone. Right? It's very unhealthy to have bariatric surgery, right? You are literally taking away 90% of your stomach, right? You are malnourishing your body. You are going to create a permanent underactive thyroid. Now, if you're 35 stone, right, having an underactive thyroid and malnourishing your body for 12 months is the least of your concerns, right? It is the absolute least of your concerns, right? Being 35 stone, your main concern is getting rid of the amount of body fat you have to get down to a healthy weight. So it's worth putting your body through it. At 16, and that's the same with Mounjaro. There's a lot of side effects to these weight loss injections. It's not just a cut and shut thing, and there's a side effect to any medication. I take prescription drugs every single day for my arthritis, right? And there are side effects to these drugs, but the side effects are worth it to me because it helps me walk on a day-to-day basis, right? Just reminding me to take them, to be honest with you, right? So the side effects that are listed with sulfasalazine, I'll risk the side effects of me having them because I'd rather have those side effects and actually be able to walk on a day-to-day basis than not take it, right? So that is the issue. So genuinely, I would say if your BMI, I'm not quite sure what the BMI levels are for qualifying for it, right? Probably 35 is generally what it is normally. But if your BMI is 40 or above and you take it understanding that it's just something that's going to help suppress your appetite, it doesn't cause fat loss, alongside using that tool, you still need to change your lifestyle. Why are you overweight? Why are you overweight? Answer me that. Get it in the comments before I tell me why you think you are overweight. Why are you Why do you have a weight issue? Right? How do we find the podcast? There is a link in my link tree. Denise, I know you're on Facebook. If you go into my Instagram or into my TikTok, click on my link tree. My link tree isn't in. I need to link my podcast, but my podcast is on Spotify. It's on Apple Music. It's on YouTube. It's on everything, right? It's on everything, right? So it's on every platform. It's just called the Real Lost Boss Podcast. You can find it anywhere, right? So, but yeah, if you follow me on YouTube, if you don't follow me on YouTube, go and follow me on YouTube. But yeah, it's on YouTube. But if you want to listen to it in the car or while you're out for a walk, it's probably easier on Spotify. Or I'd rather you listen to it on YouTube because I actually get paid if you listen to it on YouTube. I don't get a lot, right? I don't get a lot, but I'm trying to build my YouTube up. And there's loads of content on YouTube, loads of free recipes on there. There's worth the calories, like reviewing foods that will help you on your weight loss journey. Not all foods are designed to help you on weight loss, but there's my podcast. I do a weekly weight loss vlog where I talk about my own journey and stuff like that. So, but yeah, but it is available on everything. Okay. Morning or evening from Austin. Is that Austin? I don't know, or from Orst. I don't know what that is. Anyway, when is the next podcast out? I missed it over Christmas on my walks. I'm going to try and record one today. If I've got time, I'm going to try and record one today. And what my podcast today is actually, I'm doing a weight loss coaching live. So if you join my community, guys, it's £5. That's £10. It's £10 normally. It's your first month is £5 in my community using code WELCOME. And I do 2 weight loss coaching lives every single week in my community. Sorry, not every single week. I do 2 one week, 1 the next week. So it's 2 this week. And my weight loss coaching lives are basically like a podcast, but it's more towards my philosophies and plan around weight loss, which members of my community or members on my one-to-one plan are sort of embedded in it, as it were. And they're saved to the Facebook group permanently. So you can listen to, if you want stuff to listen to me waffling, there's stuff there. And then obviously I do a podcast. Now, my podcast that I'm hoping to record today is going to be very similar to the weight loss coaching live that I'm doing at 11 o'clock this morning, which is setting your goals for 2025. I think I've also got a couple of other ideas in my head, but I'm going to try and record a podcast today. I'm going to try and I'll get it up tomorrow if I can. Yeah. Right, let me. I'm just scanning through. Let me scan through. So I asked that question: why are you overweight? Why do you have this weight issue? So Denise has put on Facebook because I'm greedy. Kirsty has put overindulgence. Right, so which is greed basically. Oh, Australia, Mavis and me. Australia. I was like, is that Austin, Texas, or is that? I don't know why I didn't get Australia. My head's not working. BMI drives me mad. I've lost nearly 10, but my BMI tells me I'm still overweight. I know. And sometimes it could just be like that. Empty calories in alcohol and takeaways. Too many calories, not enough movement. I drink alcohol too much. When after alcohol, it's takeaways. So dry January is in place. Laziness. All right. So what I'm getting there is I've just asked, why are you overweight? And everyone is talking about approach to food or movement, right? Or the ones I've read out is about approach to food or movement. I'm greedy. I'm lazy. I don't move enough, right? I've got low level of movement. I consume too many calories. That is the root cause to why we gain body fat, right? The real reason why every single person is I'm gonna go obese. All right. Obviously, we have different levels or layers of weight issues. All right. So someone that's maybe a stone or 2 stone overweight or 2 stone heavier than they actually want to be doesn't really fall into this category. But obesity, 30% of the UK population are classed as obese, right? On the BMI scale. Now, obviously, we have to take the BMI scale with a pinch of salt. But if you are obese or more, right? Yes, you have gained your body fat because you have consumed too many calories, right? And that can be a combination of, yes, being greedy, overeating, making the wrong choices. Also, we have to take into account you might not burn many calories because you are lazy. But the question is, why are you greedy? Why do you overeat to the point where you are obese, right? And the main reason for that is mental health. that is the contributing factor to why you're all overweight. Your poor mental health, right? For whatever reason, and you might go, I've not got poor mental health. You have. Again, when you say poor mental health, people just automatically go depression or something like that. I'm not saying you've got like severe mental health where you can't leave the house or you can't face the world, but we use food, right? We use alcohol. I used to use food and alcohol to self-medicate. And it doesn't have to be that serious a thing. It could just I've had a tough week at work and I feel like I want, and as a reward for having a tough week at work, I'll go and drink alcohol. Right? If you overconsume alcohol, if you're on the piss every weekend, that's not, again, we can look at this in different layers. We can look at, if you're an 18-year-old and you're just single and you're out on the pull and this, that, and the other, there's maybe different contributing factors. But if you're 40, 30, 40, 50, especially if you're settled down and you're married and this, that, and the other, and you're going on the smash every weekend, it's because you're self-medicating with alcohol. You're self-medicating with alcohol because for whatever reason, you've got poor mental health. Right. And that poor mental health can just be a bit of stress from work. Right. So if you've had a really tough week at work and had just like a few beers to forget reality at the weekend and then it's back to reality Monday morning, that's self-medicating. Right. If you're sat there at night time and you're chomping down on crisps and this, that, and it's not because you're greedy, it's because you're self-medicating. When it's night time and the day's done and we've nothing to think about, we're just sat there watching Ant and Dec or whatever on TV. This is when this starts ticking in. Right. And that is the reason why, that is the root cause of why most people are overweight. Obesity is a mental health disorder. Now, and why I'm talking about this is jabbing Mounjaro into your body, right? Jabbing Mounjaro into your body or any GLP-1, going and seeing Dr. Now in Texas and having a gastric sleeve, right? That will stop or for a short period of time, will stop the need to eat because it will reduce your calorie intake. But Mounjaro on its own is never going to sort this out, right? Having a bariatric sleeve is never going to sort this out. And this is where most people go wrong with their weight loss journey. They don't sort this out. The only reason I lost 250 pounds and have maintained that loss for 7 years is not because I now walk more. Yes, that's a help. Of course it is, right? And I couldn't do it without running into a calorie deficit. And I'm more control with my food and I move more and I exercise on a regular basis and this, that, and the other. Of course, that is my lifestyle change. But one of the biggest things I did in the first 12 months of my weight loss journey was I sorted this out. I don't need to self-medicate around food. I still get stressed, still get angry, I still get worried, I still get upset. I still have fear. I still have loneliness at times. I still have, lots of things going on in my mind. But one thing that I don't need to use to keep this on track anymore is food or alcohol for that matter, because I used to self-medicate with both. If I'm being totally open and honest, I've got to be a little bit careful of what I say on lives and stuff because algorithms pick up. But I used to self-medicate with 3 things. One was food, one was alcohol, and one was something else that tends to originate in Colombia, right? And I did that for a lot of years. If I'm being actually totally honest, I used to be addicted to smoking as well. So I've had all the vices. Back in 2004, I was addicted to gambling. Right? I've got an addictive personality, right? So I've self-medicated this with lots of things over the years. I don't need to do that anymore. I eat food for what it's. I love eating food. I'm an absolute foodie. But I eat food because it's fuel and I eat food because I enjoy it. I don't consume food anymore to distract me from the reality of life. I don't drink alcohol anymore to distract me from the reality of life. I'll be honest with you, last year I was slipping a little bit with alcohol. I felt I was using it a little bit to distract me from the realities of life. I was drinking a lot more last year than I have done any other time. Not last year, sorry, 2023. 2023. I was drinking a lot more than I have ever done since doing my weight loss journey. Nothing compared to when I was 37 stone and I was slipping back, but miles better last year and going to be even more better this year. Yeah. So that's the reality of it. And you can go on Mounjaro. You can go and have a bariatric sleeve. You can go and do Slimming World. You can go and do keto. You can go and do intermittent fasting. You can do these absolutely stupid 7-day water fasts, which are more detrimental to your health than anything. Or, well, not than anything, but very detrimental to our health, physical and mental health. But they will never give you the long-term they will never give you the long-term solution that is required to have a successful weight loss journey, because you'll only get that if you cure this. And just doing this, and then here, and then in your bum and in your leg every week for a month, 2 months, maybe 6 months, maybe even 12 months, it will suppress your appetite, it'll keep food noise at bay, and it will allow you to lose a decent amount of weight. But at some point in time, if you don't solve this, you will come off Mounjaro at some point in time, and then you will gain your weight back. Likewise, at some point in time, your stomach will have healed enough where you can push your eating again after bariatric surgery, and your stomach's still a balloon. You are still going to be able to stretch your stomach back out to a point where you can overeat, or you will not be able to consume a lot of volume of food from your bariatric surgery, but you will manipulate what you eat, because you could, if you take something like, and I'm not saying people go around drinking liters of oil, but 100 milliliters of oil, right, is 800 calories, and it's 100 mil, right? It's 800 calories. So there are a lot of extremely calorie. I've worked with bariatric clients in the past. I used to have a lady, she used to swallow butter. I don't actually, if she was bariatric. I can't remember if she was a sleeve or a band. I think she was a band. So with a gastric band, it tightens the entrance to the stomach. So your food kind of backs up before it falls in to the stomach, basically. And that fills you up. It makes you fuller for longer. And certain foods you've got to be careful because it can give you a bad gag reflex. She started coating food in butter. So it hit that small gap, but because she'd lubricated it, it'd go straight through. So she could still eat, and she'd just eat foods she'd eat with butter, like loads of bread and butter and stuff like that. I've talked about this. I had another girl, and she just used to suck chocolate all day. So she had this, she needed food. She needed something in here all the time to take her away from this. She couldn't eat large volumes of food because she'd had a gastric sleeve, but she just used to consume 2,000 to 3,000 calories of chocolate every day, alongside having half a sandwich for a lunch and a little bit of salmon and a new potato for a tea. She was probably what we would class as like a fairly decent diet, probably consuming 1,200 calories on top of plus 2,000 calories worth of chocolate, and she was gaining. She'd lost 10 stone, with her sleeve, and she was currently when she came to work with me, she was 3 stone up. Yeah. It's my first week of healthy eating and a calorie deficit, and I'm enjoying it and really positive, but wanting to carry on the momentum now. I'm starting Mounjaro, got to be honest, and I'm working on myself as well and having a positive mental attitude and try not to be lazy around the kitchen, etc., as in making my own meals. You've just got to put the package together, all right? Now, I'm not going to create a GLP-1 plan and start selling on it because, unfortunately, for my own, my bank account screams at me, but I have morals. Right, and just like I'm never going to try and sell something that, so I'm not going to create a GLP-1 weight loss plan, and a lot of people probably jump on it, and it probably make me quite a lot of money. And trust me, I life's tough running a small business. Anything to try and boost the coffers a little bit, but I'm not about to do that. But if anyone, like I say, I work with clients that I don't advertise my plan as a GLP-1, but if you are on a GLP-1 of any type, Saxenda, I've worked in the past 3 years with probably over 10 people that have been on various weight loss injections. So I'm experienced in it, and you do need to understand certain things around it. All right. So if you want to come on plan with me and you are on a GLP-1, just tell me, and I'll make sure that I sort of make sure, when you're doing check-ins with me, when I'm checking in on your weight and I'm giving you feedback, I'll make sure that I'm aware of that, and we'll put some little things in place just to make sure you are losing weight properly, right? Still healthily and sustainably. because unfortunately there's too many people that aren't, and you just unfortunately what these weight loss injections are, they're just going to fall into another fad diet. They're just going to fall into another fad diet where people do it for 2, 3, 4 months. They lose a decent amount of weight on it. For whatever reason, they'll stop doing it. They'll go back into their old habits, and then they'll just gain their weight back and more, because that's what we do. I always ask this question: how many of you guys on this live now have done, from the first day? I guarantee the majority of you on these lives now have done Slimming World in the past. How many of you now, from the first time you joined Slimming World, are heavier now than you were when you first started diet? Let's not even say Slimming World, right? What year did you start dieting? Was it 1985? Was it 1995? Was it what in your memory was the first sort of diet that you went on, right? And have you then, since that time, bounce from fad diet to fad diet to fad diet? You might have done Slimming World, you might have done some shakes, you might have done Cambridge, you might have done, you might have even had something as severe as a bariatric sleeve. Out of all, from the first day you ever went on a diet, right, to today, and you've bounced from several fad diets, are you heavier now than the first time you ever started dieting? So you've been dieting, you've been losing weight for 20 years. Well, you haven't. You've been gaining weight for 20 years. And this is again brutal for mental health. To actually sit there and say, I've been dieting I did it, right? I went on my first diet in 1989. I was dragged to a dietitian. I was 9 years of age, and I was put on a diet. From 9 years of age up to being 33 years of age, I constantly felt like I was obsessed with my weight. Like I was trying to lose weight. I bounced around from diet to diet to diet to diet. And the honest truth, so that is 24. So for 24 years of my life, I felt like I was trying to lose weight. When the honest truth was, for 24 years of my life, I just constantly gained weight. So I dieted for years, yet gained weight. How does that work? And that's because all these crazy fad diets that we jump on, right, they actually cause long-term weight gain, not long-term weight loss, because they contribute what I said at the beginning of this live about mental health, right? And the deterioration of mental health over the years, right, means more and more people need coping mechanisms. And it's not just obesity. I'm telling you now, if we compared back to the 60s where obesity wasn't an issue, I'm telling you now in 2023, 24, 25, whatever, I know, let's look at 2024 because we obviously haven't got enough data for 2025. I'm telling you now, there'll be more alcoholics in 2024 than there were in 1964. There's certainly more obese people in 2024 than there was in 1964. You could drink alcohol in 1964. You can drink alcohol in 24, right? You can eat food in 64. You can eat food in 2024, right? You could gamble in 1964. I reckon there'd be more gambling addicts in 2024 than 1964. And that's because over the years, society as a whole, mental health has deteriorated. Mental health as a whole is a lot worse in 2024 than it was in 1964. Why? Lots of contributing factors. More stresses in life, more outgoings in life. In 1964, you probably had electric and council tax and a mortgage to pay for, right? In 2024, you've got gas, electric, Sky TV, mobile phones, right? You've got more expensive holidays. You've got your cars on tick. You've got your mortgage, right? You've got so many more outgoings to think about that needs paying. Life it's more, technology and stuff in some ways has enhanced our lives. I couldn't be doing this now without technology, but in other ways, it has become very detrimental. Social media. Without social media, I wouldn't have a business, right? Or the business I have now, I'd be maybe being a PT in a gym or whatever I'd be doing. I have no idea. Or I'd be trying to, set up local meetings with people to help coach them on weight loss, similar to, I suppose, the way Slimming World works, right? But we have social media. But we have to be honest, social media, the boom of social media in the last 20 years will have will have done more harm to mental health than good. It will have done a lot more harm to mental health. So I think the need for coping mechanisms nowadays is way more than it was 40, 50 years for everything. But obviously food is the most common. And it's the easiest coping mechanism, isn't it? It doesn't matter what age, when I'm 9 years of age, I can't turn to alcohol. I can't buy it. I'm not old enough. Couldn't turn to drugs. Drugs are illegal. I didn't, things like that. Couldn't turn to gambling. Not old enough. Couldn't turn to smoking. I wasn't old enough. At 9 years of age, I can turn to a kitchen cupboard or a fridge, right? Likewise, food is probably the most affordable coping mechanism. Alcohol's very expensive. Food is expensive as well, but, if you go and buy a couple of bottles of vodka, that's 40 quid a day habit. Right? That's £1,000 a month, right? Even at 37 stone, I was probably nowhere near £1,000 a month on food. Right, let me scale up. I know I'm waffling. A lot. Did you go to GA? Do you know what? I have never ever been to like Alcoholics Anonymous, Gamblers Anonymous, or anything like that. I've always sorted out all my own addictions. I quit smoking cold turkey. I sorted out my gamble. I still gamble now, but I don't gamble to the extent. I got addicted to fruit machines when I first started working in pubs in 2018. Used to put my wages in every Friday night in a fruit machine and live skin and blah, 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 blah. And then I got addicted to playing poker. When poker became massive, I was still working in pubs 2002. And the landlord that I was running the pub for, he was a taxi driver still. So he worked full time as a taxi driver while owning the pub. And at the end of his shit, when I was closing up the pub, he'd come back, he'd pick me up, and we'd go to the casino together. He'd finish his taxi shift at midnight, and we used to go to the casino and play poker till 2, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning sometimes. And I got addicted to gambling. And I was, 2004. I was 40 grand in debt just for gambling, bouncing around off credit cards and loans and all sorts of. I sorted it out. I was very lucky. Took a loan out. My dad went guarantor on it, which consolidation loan. And over the next 5 years, I paid it off. 5 years. I got a different job. Got out of the pub game. Got out of the pub game and just went and grafted my bum off and just chucked as much money and paid it off. So I've sorted all my own addictions out. The only thing I ever did was in end of 2013, early 2014, I had some counselling around my mental health. After my dad passed away, and I went through some my mental health was as rock bottom as it can come because I didn't want to be here anymore, and I put things into place to try not to be here anymore. Luckily, I failed at trying to do that, and I woke up. But I had some counselling around that. Other than that, I've sorted out all my addictions, But it's something I've got to be really, really, really conscious of. Because it's so easy to slip back. It really, really is. You can't outdo thermodynamics. Thermodynamics. You can't outdo thermodynamics when you know proper nutrition. It helps. Yeah, absolutely. So basically. So thermodynamics thermo means burn, right? And thermodynamics is how we describe, it's basically the description for energy balance, right? And you can do, and thermodynamics accounts to everything. So if we look at any energy sources, so calories in, calories out, same with, electricity, electricity is generated in some way and then it then comes in. And if what's going out from the electricity plant is less than what's going in, there'll be a store of electric built up. It's the same with, I've got my phone plugged in now and my phone's at 90% battery, but I'm doing a live, it's connected to the internet, I'm talking, but there is still more electricity going into my battery than what I'm using. So my phone is going up, but it's going up slower than it would be if I wasn't doing a live. If I wasn't using my phone, it would charge a lot quicker because I've got energy going out because I'm using my battery in my phone. I've got energy going in because it's plugged in and charging. So, but my phone is currently in a energy surplus because I am taking in more energy than it is using, which is charging up my battery. So thermodynamics, we can put that into anything in terms of the human body. How we measure our energy in the human body, it's not kilowatts or miles per gallon. We measure it through calories, right? And thermodynamics is energy balance between calories in versus calories out. So to lose body fat, so basically what we need to do is we need to get our body to use energy from what we eat and also use energy that is stored in the body, which is body fat. And to do that, we need to consume less calories than we burn. That is how we do it. We consume less calories than we burn. So if I burn 3,000 calories in a day and I consume 2,000 calories, my body will tend to get 2,000 calories from the energy that I'm eating, and the other 1,000 calories it needs, it will get it from my stored body fat. For every 3,500 calorie deficit I go in, I lose one of these. Now, what Thomas said there is, when you know proper nutrition, it helps. You don't really need to know about nutrition in terms of, but how we structure our diet certainly makes sticking to our calorie allowance, and hopefully that allowance is putting us into a deficit, easier. All right. So if I'm burning 3,000 calories a day and I decide to eat 2,000 calories a day, it doesn't matter what I eat. I could eat nothing but apples. I could eat nothing but McDonald's or Greggs. I could eat nothing but white rice, chicken, and broccoli. It doesn't matter. If I'm in a calorie deficit, I will lose body fat. But the way we structure our diet is going to make it easier to stick to that calorie allowance. So, for example, we started off talking on this live about GLP-1s, about, someone's asked about Mounjaro. Mounjaro doesn't cause weight loss, right? It's not just a case of I'll just jab this in and I'll lose weight. No, all Mounjaro does is it reduces food noise, right? It stops you feeling as hungry, right? Which the knock-on effect of that is you're going to consume less calories. You can do that naturally. High protein, high fiber, hydration. If you want to save yourself 150, 200 pounds a month, have a high protein diet, have a high fiber diet, right? And make sure you are constantly hydrated. Now, planning out and sticking to a high protein, high fiber diet and staying hydrated is more of an effort than to jab yourself once a week with Mounjaro, right? It is way more of an effort, to be honest with you, but you can do it naturally. And that's like Tom said about knowing nutrition. No, if you structure, I've just had, before I jumped in this live now, I've had porridge this morning, protein porridge, 30 grams of protein in my porridge this morning, plus a lot of fiber, right? That porridge is reducing the food noise in my body. Why? Because it's filling. It's complex carbs, lots of fibrous carbs as well, lots of protein. All those things take a long time. That slows down digestion in my body, the same as a GLP-1. Now, if I finish my workout this morning and come home, right, and slam down a bowl of Frosties, right, that would digest within 45 minutes out of my stomach into my small intestine, right? So an hour after having my bowl of Frosties, the food noise is being created by my body. It's going, hey, come on, more food, more food, more food. Alongside that, if those Frosties do cause a spike in blood sugars and a crash in blood sugar, it's not saying it will, that will also then contribute to fatigue, and it will contribute to hunger, more food noise. Way, hungry, hungry, hungry. And this is then when you get the hunger, sometimes you can't control it. If you're in the office, that's when you start going for the bickies because it's what's at hand, right? I don't have food noise. Why? Because I've eaten oats. I've eaten blueberries. I've eaten raspberries, right? I've eaten 30 grams, I've had 30 grams of whey protein powder mixed in with my porridge. No food noise for me. No, yes, that's raised my blood sugars up. Nice, slow, back down into healthy blood sugar range over the next couple of hours. So you can do it naturally, right? What you're going to eat for your breakfast. Now, this is, again, where a lot of people are going wrong. They'll still be taking Mounjaro, but they'll still be eating Frosties for the breakfast. They'll still be eating, Philadelphia and rice cakes for the lunch, or cheese and crackers for the lunch, right? What am I having for my lunch? Well, I'm going to review it for YouTube's next week's Worth the Calories video. I bought yesterday from Morrison's red Thai chicken curry and rice. Right, it's 450 calories, 40 grams of protein. Again, high protein meal, lots of veggies, good amount of fiber in there. I'm not going to be needing to reach for the biscuits at 2 in the afternoon, 3 in the afternoon, because I'm eating protein, I'm eating fiber. Alongside that, I'm going to drink 2, 3, 4 litres of water today. You can reduce your food noise naturally. You don't need to spend £200 a month jabbing yourself with a medication that is going to have side effects in your body, short-term side effects, nausea, headaches, constipation. That's what you're going to get off Mounjaro, but you've got to be like, well, I don't mind having constant headaches. I don't mind feeling constantly nauseous, and I don't mind being constipated if it means I'm going to lose weight. And again, if you're currently 25 stone, I'd rather be consistently losing weight and be constipated and feel a bit nauseous and have headaches, you know, than be 25 stone. Would I rather try and lose weight if I'm 15 stone, where I'm not putting a severe pressure on my body? I'm just, my weight is putting pressure on my body, and I've probably got an unhealthy lifestyle, but I'm probably more wanting to lose weight more for aesthetics than actually being detrimental to my health, as it were. Would I rather not be constantly constipated, constantly nauseous, constantly have headaches, constantly feel thirsty? That's another side effect of Mounjaro. And try and lose weight naturally. Yes, I would. It's all about a playoff. But you can do it naturally. But it does take effort. And unfortunately, not a lot of people are willing to put the effort in. I get loads of people come on my plan, and I think they think, he's got the cure. We're searching for that miracle cure, aren't we, all the time? He's lost 250 pounds and maintained those losses for 7 years, right? He's got. I don't sell a miracle cure. If you're not willing to put the effort in, you'll fail on my plan. You'll fail on any plan. You'll fail on Mounjaro. But is there less initial effort needed? Yeah, but it is, because you're going to just, once a week, every Sunday morning, bang, you're going to jab yourself with Mounjaro. First 3-4 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, your appetite is going to be absolutely rock bottom. So you're not going to want to eat much food at all. As it wanes during the week, when you start getting to maybe late Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the effects of the Mounjaro will be starting to wear off, because you're coming up towards your next jab. But if you've eaten less during the week, it's fine. You can ramp up your eating a little bit Thursday, Friday. You need to structure your calories to that, though, right? You need to understand that, right? So, again, if you're like, well, I'm going to eat 1,200 calories a day for the first week, yeah, you might only eat 1,200 calories a day Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because the Mounjaro is at its highest in your body. When you get to Saturday and you're going to try and eat 1,200 calories, it's not going to happen. You're still going to have that food noise, because your body's getting ready for the next jab, which will be on a Sunday. And a lot of people then go, it don't work, this Mounjaro. Next thing, they're giving them 7.5 and 10 mil and 12.5 mil, which is just going to increase your side effects, right? So you need to, now, don't get me wrong, I've never bought Mounjaro. I have no idea what help you get with it, but I totally assume that when you buy it, someone sits down with you, talks about how it works, talks about the first few days of taking that jab. You're going to be very, very suppressed in appetite. So that's days where you need to bank calories. You need to understand, as you get closer to your next jab, your appetite is going to ramp up. So don't panic, run with it. You still need to control your nutrition. You still need to understand how many calories you should be eating to be in a calorie deficit. It's just a tool. It is just a tool. As I've tried Whey, Single Diet, Going Slimming World, Weight Watchers, Rosemary Connolly, every single one, and I've never ever managed to get out my goal weight, because it's always been unrealistic. So I spent thousands on memberships. Do the plans work similar to what my plans? My plans never changed initially from when I wrote them in 2021. Have I tweaked them? Has my own coaching improved? Yeah, of course it is, because I just get better. I'm getting better and better and better as a coach, because I work with more people. I become more experienced. 2024 was the best year I've had as a coach. The amount of clients that hit over £100 weight loss in 2024 was amazing. But that's not just down to my coaching. Yes, my coaching's improved, but that's down to their effort. You've got to put the effort in. If you're not willing to put the effort in, right, you know, and I get loads of people that jump on. The amount of people I get that sign up to my plan, I never hear from them. They sign up to my plan, I send them the plan out. I don't chase you. We're all adults here. I'm here all the time. I do 14 hours of lives a week. Some of them are public lives, some of them are private lives for the community. No one can ever say there's never support. I am never not here for you guys. I'm here constantly. Like, I literally spend 14 hours. That's 2 solid days over 6 days where you can come and interact and chat with me. 3-4 hours a week is private in my community, right? And then the other sort of 7, 8, 9 hours a week is doing stuff like this, but I'm always here. I'm always here. I'm always I message every Thursday. It's check-in tomorrow. Whether you decide to check in or not, that's down to you. Right? I'm not your dad. I'm your weight loss coach. Right? I tell you when your check-in is. You just need to do it. Yeah. How do you sign up for them, and where can I find information? Right. For my plans, if anyone wants to come on board with me as a coach, right, and you want me to be a weight loss coach, I've got an amazing deal on for January. I never really do January deals, but everyone seems to be doing January deals, so it's kind of, run the course, I suppose. So my plan is $29.99 to sign up, and then it's $29.99 a month for 3 months, right? A minimum. You can work with me for 10 years if you want to, but I ask for 3 months commitment. So in total, it's £120, but it's spread out over 3 months, right? The payment. So $29.99 to sign up, $29.99 a month. If you sign up in January, it's 20 quid to sign up. That's it, £20 to sign up, right? And then it's $29.99 a month, January, February, March, yeah. And if you stick January, February, March, right, you'll get April free, right? You will get April free. Now, I'm going to put some T's and C's in that, all right? The T's and C's is to get April free. I want your commitment, right? You get me. What am I going to get from you, right? I want you to check in, right? You need to complete 6 check-ins. So you need to pay January, February, March, and you also need to check in on a regular basis, right? You know, I don't want you to go AWOL for 3 months and then in April go, I'm here now, can I have my free? No, I'm a weight loss coach to help you, but you've got to want to help yourself, right? And if you help yourself and you regularly check in and you give me all the information I ask for when you check in, I can be the best coach for you. And if you stick to it, there's no reason why you can't be like, I probably had last year 30 clients that lost over £50 or more. 30 people lost over £50 or more. Now, you might not think that's a lot. That's a lot. That's really, really good. I had about 200 clients sign up last year, and I had, so 20%, 15, 20% lost like 4 stone or more, right? And they're not special, and I'm not a miracle worker. They just put the effort in for the year and grafted, and they weren't perfect. They went on holiday. They had times where, weight didn't move, but they stayed consistent. They kept checking in. They kept trying. When things were tough, they'd message me. They'd still check in. We'd work through different situations. We'd tweak things around. We'd try it, and they did fantastic. Yeah. So where's the deal to sign up? So if you want to sign up, you need to head over to my link tree. If you're on Facebook, on my official Facebook page, my link tree's not on there. My website's on there, right? So you can click on my website, go to the Boss Your Weight Loss section. You can drop me a Facebook message, and I'll let you know. Drop me a TikTok message. Not TikTok messages. I don't go through my TikTok messages. I get so many stuff from TikTok shopping on that I don't even look at. You can DM me on Instagram, right? If you on Instagram profile, TikTok profile, there's my link tree on there. The first tab on my link tree is an inquiry form. You can send over an inquiry form. Hi Neil, seen you on TikTok. Can I get details of your plan? Or I think second tab down on my link tree is my one-to-one plan link. Click on that, and it tells you in there, like, you just need to use code New Year New Me at checkout, right? New Year New Me. It'll knock 10 quid off the sign up, and then I'll register the code next to your name. So if you do your 6 months, your 6 check-ins, hit your check-in dates, you don't need to lose. I don't care if you lose weight or anything. I do care if you lose weight, but what I mean, I just want you to check in. Right? I just want you to be accountable to yourself, accountable to me, and put the effort in. Right? If you don't lose any weight because you're really struggling, if you stick to the plan, you'll lose weight. That's a guarantee. But if you're struggling to be consistent, that's what I'm here for as a coach. But if you check in on a regular basis, I can help you improve. Right? If you don't check in, I can't help you. Right? Make me help you, if that makes sense. So that goes for anyone on here, anyone that's on TikTok now, anyone of you guys on Facebook or YouTube. Just head over to my link tree, second tab down, or head over to my website, thereallossboss.net. Click on the Boss Your Weight Loss section. Click on the monthly one-to-one plan. Sign up. Use code New Year New Me at checkout. It tells you at the top of when you click on my one-to-one plan, it says use code New Year New Me. £10 off sign up for 4 months for the price of 3. Yeah. Join it with the best thing you've ever done. Thank you, Sheila. Best thing I did was join You Changed My Life. They are Donna is one of those over Don 1990 lost over £50 in 2024 on plan. She's absolutely amazing. Any more information on this new challenge? No, not yet, Stefan. I was trying to get it out at the end of this week. I will be getting it out at the end of next week. All right. So I do 2 challenges a year. Right, but you have to be part of my one-to-one plan to get the challenges. So I'm not going to talk about it on here. I will get it out to you guys. It'll be a mail shot. It'll come as an email, and I'll do a broadcast once it's done. I'll say, right, guys, check your emails now. But yeah, we are going to do the challenge a month earlier in 2024. We're going to do a challenge over, and you don't have to enter the challenge, by the way. It's just something a little bit extra I put in as a bit of extra motivation for clients. It's just a bit, some people, if they're a little bit competitive, the challenge is against you. So you need to be competitive against yourself. All right. But yeah, the challenge is going to start in March. It started in April last year. We're going to do March, April, May. And then we'll have summer off, June, July, August. And then we're going to do September, October, November. All right. So we'll get it going right at the beginning of September. We'll get September, October, November, so it'll finish before Christmas. And the winner of the challenge gets 500 quid. All right, so it is worth entering if you're up for it, if you like a little bit of a challenge. How does the check-in work? So basically, WhatsApp, just WhatsApp. Some people ask me, is it a video call? Absolutely not. I did that when I first started coaching. Right. And I used to do like a gold plan and a platinum plan, and you could pay me if you wanted to do your check-in through video call. And what I ended up realizing was it didn't need to be a video call, because you just sit there going, is everything all right? Yeah, it's great. Right. Now, don't get me wrong. Some people sign up and go, some people do need a natter. And I do offer that service. If anyone wants a one-to-one call with me, you can pay a little bit extra and book in a one-to-one call. But like I said, I do that many lives and stuff. People generally don't fit. But with a check-in, it's every 2 weeks. We check in on Fridays. You'll get all your check-in dates when you sign up, and I ask for your weight, your measurements, your average steps, any exercise that you do, and any other information. You've got any questions, anything you're struggling with, get that into me, right? And then as I work through check-ins, I read all your bits, I upload to your progress sheet. We can see how your progress is going. I'll answer any of your questions. I'll give you feedback on how things are going. And that's it. It's really, really straightforward. It's just very simple accountability. And yeah, when I used to get the odd client, I'd be like, right, I've booked this client in at 11 a.m. Oh, I can't do 11 a.m. now. It's the thing. And I'm like, well, I can't do any other time than 11 a.m. because I've got other checks. So it's just, so we just do it through WhatsApp. Dead simple. Get up in the morning, go to the toilet, do what you need to do, jump on the scales, quickly measure yourself, get all your information in, screenshot your steps, screenshot your calories if you want, whatever, screenshot your workouts, whatever's easiest for you, ping it all over to my WhatsApp. And then I work through check-ins every Friday. Check-ins are back tomorrow morning, by the way. I work through check-ins every Friday into Saturday. I just go through them in chronological order. It takes me about 9 hours on a Friday to do everyone's check-ins. Right? So I just say, some check-ins take me 2 minutes. Some check-ins take me 10 minutes, but I just sit there for hours on a Friday, tapping away, doing check-ins. And then back tomorrow, I've had 2 weeks off from check-ins. I only have 2 weeks off a year. I do check-ins 50 weeks of the year. It doesn't matter if I'm on holiday. It doesn't matter if it's my birthday. It doesn't matter. From now, the next break I get from doing client check-ins is Christmas week this year. That is my next break. Check-in every Friday for me. Check-in. So I'm always there for you. Even when I'm on holiday, whatever, I'm always there for you. Sometimes I'm going on holiday in April and it's a friend's birthday. So I normally manipulate my holidays around check-ins. Because check-ins are on a Friday. If I go on holiday, I normally go Saturday to Thursday. on holiday. So I'm back to do check-ins. But I am at the end of April, early May. I'm in Fuengirola for a friend's 50th, and we're going Wednesday to Sunday. I don't want to take my Mac with me. Now, I might be able to get on a computer in the hotel because I work online and I use Google Sheets, so it's a Google Drive, so I should be able to log in. And I'm hopeful on the Friday morning I'll be able to just log in remotely on a computer hotel and work through some check-ins. But if not, it's going to be Monday, Tuesday. But it's very rare I do that with check-ins. It's very rare you have to wait more than a day. Not sure when mine's back. Is it next week? So guys, if you checked in on the 13th or the 20th of December, just scan back to that message because it tells you when you're. So if your last check-in before Christmas was the 13th of December, official check-in, it is your check-in on Friday. If your last official check-in before Christmas was the 20th of December, your check-in's a week on Friday. All right, so check your dates. Also, if you've had an updated progress sheet for the 2 weeks before Christmas, your next date will be in your progress sheet. So just to have a check through. If you are unsure, drop me a message. But this week messages have been absolutely bonkers. So by the time I get to it, your check-in might have gone. So it's just easy if you scan back through your WhatsApp and have a look when you have a look at your last check-in, and it'll tell you what date your next check-in is. Right, guys, I'm going very, very, very shortly. So, yeah, guys, if you want to sign up to my community, TikTok profile, Instagram profile is probably the easiest way to do it. You just need to either head over to my website, therealbossboss.net, or find a link for my link tree. I put it in all my TikTok. The link to sign up to plan is in all my YouTube content, everything like that. Click on that. Use code New Year, New Me. Denise on Facebook, she's just signed up, so she's sorted it. Cheers, Denise. Now, when you sign up, there is a confirmation email, right? Say, thanks for signing up. There are downloads in that email. If you're struggling for whatever reason, because Denise, if you want to start on Monday, I need your consultation form back today. So I need you to get that download and get it filled in. It only takes a few minutes. Doesn't take long. If you can get that sent over, that would be great. If I don't hear from you, Denise, I've got another live to do after this because we're in the community. I'll email you anyway. I'll be chasing you up saying, hey, here's your consultation form. Can you get it filled in so I can write your plan up? Because all I do on Fridays is check-ins. I don't write plans on Fridays. But thank you for signing up, Denise. We'll get you going. I'm confused with creating a recipe on NutriCheck. Does the calories change when cooked? No. Always just put everything in raw. Just put everything in raw. The calories don't change. Obviously, if you take raw chicken breast and you fry it in oil, you need to put in the chicken and the oil, right? But the calories don't change. Now, obviously, the weights of things can change. So don't weigh anything cooked. Just do it all raw. Dead simple. 200 grams of raw chicken breast is about 250 calories, right? A teaspoon of oil is 40 calories. So if you butterfly a chicken breast and pan fry it in a teaspoon of oil, it's 290 calories. That's it. Dead simple. Yeah. So I just track everything raw. So, when you're making a spag bowl, 500 grams of raw mint. So you're going to scan the packet. It'll say as served or as prepped, right? If it says when you scan a packet of something raw and it tracks it as cooked, right? Just find a generic thing in NutriCheck. So, for example, pasta. I just use, if you put dry penne pasta into NutriCheck or dried penne pasta, it just comes up with a generic, like, dried pasta. Pasta is, whatever shape it doesn't matter whether it's spaghetti or penne, is 350 calories per 100 grams dry. Right, that's it. That's all you need to do. All right, simple. In. Right, so if I'm making a spag bowl, raw beef mince, raw onion, everything raw. Right, doesn't matter. There you go. That's it. It's in. Honestly, you don't need to make it any more complicated than it. Just put it all in raw. Right, anything, veggies, carrots, and in NutriCheck, just use there's loads of generic potatoes, raw, peeled or unpeeled, carrots, 5% fat mince, whatever. It's all raw. Yeah. Right, let me say now, guys, I have been absolutely waffling like mad this morning. So I'm sorry if I have not. I tried Mounjaro and it was awful. I was ill, and to be honest, it took the fun out of life. Yeah, and it will do. But again, if you're 30 stone and Mounjaro takes the fun out of life, I'm sorry, you need the fun taken out of your life for a little bit, because being 30 stone is no fun. Right? It'll be more fun losing weight than being 30 stone. That's the honest truth of it. But like I say, if you're currently 15 stone and you're actually quite happy, fairly healthy, you just want to lose 2 or 3 stone to get into slightly smaller clothes or to look better in the mirror, right? Taking something that constantly makes you thirsty, gives you a headache, constipates you, and makes you nauseous is going to zap the fun out of life. Right, guys, I have got to go. I know I've been waffling like mad this morning and not gone through many comments. If you've asked any questions this morning that I've not answered, I'm back at 8 p.m. tonight. And at 8 p.m. tonight, I will try and I'll go through more questions and answer more questions. So I'm back on TikTok at 8 p.m. tonight. If you're on Planner in the community, I'll see you guys in about 20 minutes because we're doing the weight loss coaching live, which I'm doing goal setting for 2025. All right, goal setting for 2025. So, yeah, I'll see you in about 20 minutes or so. You know my timing's not the best, right? So TikTok, if you just follow me on TikTok, I will see you at 8 p.m. tonight. And you lovely people over on YouTube and Facebook, yes, I am back at 8 p.m. tonight. If this is how you like to watch it, if it's easier to watch on here than it is on TikTok, yeah, I'll be back at 8 p.m. tonight. So yeah, I'll see you then. Come get signed up. Community, your plan.